Hi and hello viewers. Welcome to another episode of the Kumbi Jiku Show. This is your own GK Sports India YouTube channel. We are here to do the preview of the Women World Cup 2025, the all-important game between India and England that is to happen at Indore. We all know India has placed precariously, though possibly finishing fourth in the group stage to make it to the top four. But having said that, India has had a mixed bag in this World Cup, not really being at the top of the game, especially per se in terms of their top order and middle order batting, plus their over-reliance on spinners. To discuss more and throw more light on this game, with me is renowned journalist Krishnan, fondly called as Jiku. Welcome, Jiku. Are you eagerly awaiting for this game that is going to happen at Indore? And how important is this game for India and England, per se, looking at the table and the teams that could possibly make it to the top four?
Hello, Sri. Thank you very much, and wishing you all, and Sri, you and your family a very happy Dhanteras and a happy Diwali ahead. So, yes, it is going to be an exciting weekend. India versus England. It seems like India last played quite a few days ago, almost a week before they get to play against England. 2 wins, 2 losses in their first 4 matches. All important game against England in Indore, and India cannot afford to do any mistakes like they have done in the previous matches that resulted in losses against South Africa and Australia. So we can't say it is a must win. But then if India win this match, they'll be in a better position and not depend on other results to work in their favor, as we have already seen some rain-affected matches in Colombo with points shared, and that has quite upset some of the teams and their positions in the points table. So it's important for India to win this, go with 2 points ahead, and into the final 2 league matches next week.
True, I think the rain-affected games in Colombo have made this World Cup sort of a damp affair. But nevertheless, India has had better conditions to play with. Possible changes, Jiku, you look at in the Indian playing 11 for the upcoming game against England, because the England spinners have been on top. Mind you, the Holkar Stadium in India, smaller ground, value for shots, a fast outfield, and a belter of a pitch. Certainly, I reckon it's going to be a high-scoring game like the one we saw in Vizag when India teed off against Australia, getting in excess of 300 and Australia chasing it down. So obviously, it's going to be a high-scoring game. And yes, you mentioned about not an all-important win that India needs to have. But having said that, I said a mixed bag. And India needs to, start peaking at the right time and get their A game and fasten their seatbelts to get going in the knockout stage. So what are the sort of changes you look at, Jiku? I mean, having been over-reliant on the spinners and the batting being brought to the rescue by the late middle order, and happy to see that Smriti Mandhana running into form and Kumbi also showing some signs of form. But the question mark is all about the skipper, both
right,
with the bat and with the captaincy.
Yeah, Sri, it's like you said, there should not be so many changes that you should not make knee-jerk changes like you mentioned in the previous episode going into this game. And at the most, you can see maybe Sri Charani being making room for the experienced Radha Yadav, because Radha Yadav has not got a game so far in this tournament. Maybe that is one change that I may be looking at. And maybe, like I always say, Renuka Thakur, but then that's up to the management and what they find Renuka Thakur is missing and what they think that maybe Krantik Gaud and Amanjot Kaur can bring with the new ball. But too many changes, and the changes can only be made with the bowling department because there are no options in the batting lineup. Maybe if at all in the batting lineup, switch players, positions, and maybe like we saw Richa Ghosh move up from 8 to 6 in the previous game against Australia, or maybe do something. But there is hardly anything that they can do with the batting order because the openers are set. And number 3, Harleen Dole has been making runs, getting starts, 30s and 40s. It's time that she converts them into 50s and bat long. And of course, Harmanpreet Kaur at number 4 is it's time that she got big runs that she is known for, and she can be the game changer if she gets going. Otherwise, it's again going to be the same old story of depending heavily on the lower half with Richa Ghosh, Deepti Sharma, and Sneh Rana bailing the team out. But then it's time the captain herself contributed in a big way, and no better game than against England, against whom she has a good record. And like you said, Indore is a batting pitch. We have already seen 300s in the 2 previous matches, and why not? Why can't? No, it's time that Harmanpreet got going. So I won't see too many changes in the lineup, except maybe Sri Charani giving way for Radha Yadav.
Well, pretty surprising. A young girl who's, in a maiden World Cup has done reasonably well. And in fact, she's been the pick of the bowlers. She bowled brilliantly against Australia. So your take is Sri Charani could make way for Radha Yadav. But Jiku, my concern has been, India not making inroads with the new ball. Barring in the games against Sri Lanka and Pakistan, obviously lesser known oppositions where Kranti Gaud had a little bit of success. The objective was playing Amanjot Kaur, being handy with the new ball and, late order batting. Do you think this purpose has been stalled, by batting deep and barring the 300 India got against Australia? I think India has not really gone on to score big with that deep a batting lineup. Now, how do you look at this scenario? Has it served the purpose for the Indian team management?
And that's mainly because the middle order has not got going. It has not really fired, except in the previous match where the openers got off to a very big start, 155 run partnerships, Smriti Mandhana and Pratika Rawal. The middle order has been the same story. Harmanpreet not getting scores, falling in the 20s or not even touching the 20 mark. Jemima Rodrigues, 1-2 innings of flashes of brilliance, but not again continuing to go big. Harleen Dior getting starts, falling in the 30s or 40s and not making it big. It is this which is the main concern, and that is why perhaps they are not scoring in excess of 300 on a consistent basis. And the ones that they have got beyond 300 is thanks to Richa Ghosh and her heroics in that game against South Africa. But this is something which India have to address, and Harmanpreet Kaur holds the key to India's progress into the semi-final. I would say India's smooth progress into the semi-final than that last-minute rush or whatever, with depending on other results to go in India's favor. So if India have to sail smoothly into the semi-finals, captain has to click, and it's time she did.
Well, how do you look at the form of Harmanpreet Kaur? Of course, we all know the ability of Harmanpreet Kaur. She has a liking towards this England bowling attack. But having said that, the form of her batting, maybe it's rubbed off on her captaincy also. It's looked pretty insipid and uninspiring. The way she's been pretty vocal, and her gestures have, looked very ordinary on the field of play. Is it true with, the World Cup being hosted by India, the pressure of being, the second favorites to Australia to win this cup? Is this monkey, on the back troubling her? Or is she too good a player, to handle such sort of things? I think the lean patch she's going through has been for quite some time. And we all hope that she comes good in this all-important game against England. How are you looking at this scenario?
Sri, in as much as they want to not show to the public that this is a home World Cup and they are not feeling the pressure, inside them, within them, they will be feeling it. Because they have spoken before the tournament that this being a World Cup in India and want to repeat what the men did in 2011, winning the home World Cup under MS Dhoni. They have been speaking along these lines, and maybe it is working on the back of their mind, and indirectly or without their own knowledge, they are putting pressure on themselves. So which I think has to be addressed soon, and it is now that they do it. They're all, after all, humans, isn't it? And they will be feeling the pressure. And even if they shut out all the outside noises and the pressures wherever they go, like the airport, the hotel, and all those things, the fans saying this is the home cup, win it for India. And somewhere I read they have to win it for Harmanpreet Kaur, like the men did it for Sachin Tendulkar. They were speaking about winning it for Harmanpreet Kaur, but then it's all better not spoken about. Just focus on one game at a time and concentrate on what's on hand. Maybe it is they don't want to show it, but that could be the fact that the home pressure, the pressure is catching on to them.
Well, certainly, I think, we're trying to put an individual in the spot, saying that we need to do it for a particular individual. I think it's about 11 players. A squad of 15, the playing 11 is what is more important for them. Hopefully, the combination is right. From the start, it's looked like, they've gone more spin heavy. Whereas somebody like England, who's picked a squad with 4 or 5 spinners in the team, and with Sophie Eccleston, their best left-arm spinner, and she's the #1 spinner in the world. I think it's not going to be easy for India against England. Not only do they have a potent spin attack as well as a fast bowling attack, they have some very experienced batters in them. In the recent past, India has had success against England, but again, that's in a bilateral, and this is a World Cup event where the pressure is all the more. You play against familiar oppositions, but the World Cup aura catches up to you. Hoping that India gets their A game into play, as you mentioned, not the last-minute rush wherein, they need to depend on other results or need to win by a big margin against New Zealand and Bangladesh when they sign off. Because New Zealand is a strong contender, and it cannot be a knockout game between India and New Zealand, wherein if there is a bad result coming out of this England game, it shouldn't boil down to the net run rate or a knockout game against New Zealand.
Right, yes. When we look at the points table, Australia have already qualified for the semi-finals. England, South Africa in the top second and third positions, and they are more or less there. Just a win for them would take them through. Fourth position could be between India and New Zealand. India lying fourth as we speak now, New Zealand fifth, and I get a feeling that the match on 23rd at D.V. Patil in Navi Mumbai will decide the fourth position for the semi-finals, India versus New Zealand. But for that not to happen, India win against England in Indore and put themselves in a comfortable position. Otherwise, it's going to be, like you just mentioned, a do or die, a virtual quarterfinal.
Well, hoping that, it's a good gift for all the fans for Diwali. Come Sunday, an all-important game, India comes on the park with their A game and the execution happens well, and hope we see a result going in favor of India and not letting it too late. Thanks, Jiko. Thanks for your insights, and let's hope for an Indian victory, which can be much sweeter than what sweets we have during Diwali. Wishing all the viewers a very happy Diwali and very happy Dhanteras as of today, and extended wishes to your family, Jiko. Let's hope for the best result for India coming up on Sunday against England.
Thank you very much, and hopefully, yes, like you said, a good Diwali gift for India on Sunday, on the eve of Diwali. Thank you. See you again. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, viewers. We'll catch you on the other side. Once the India-England game is done, we'll catch you up on the review of the game. Thank you. Stay safe. Enjoy your Diwali. Bye.
Bye.